August 28th, 2020, actor Chadwick Boseman passed away at the age of 43. Let's take a deeper look into the symbolism connected with his life and death and how it is related to other satanic orchestrated events that we have been discussing recently. We'll start by pointing out the one-eye symbolism displayed in this photo. It was announced that Chadwick died from stage 4 colon cancer after a 4-year bout with the disease. This connects his death with the number 44 in Barack Obama. In fact, in 2016, Chadwick visited the White House for a screening of the movie 42. Here you see Obama holding a purple baseball cap with the number 42 on it. Pay close attention to this, as we'll come back to it in a moment. For now, let's look at the symbolism connected to Chadwick Boseman in some of his biggest movies. It should be noted that Rolling Stones magazine pictured him as a one-eyed false messiah wearing a crown of thorns. You may remember Kanye West was also pictured on the cover of Rolling Stones wearing a crown of thorns. Chadwick starred in the movie 42. In this movie, he played Jackie Robinson, the first African American to play in Major League Baseball. Robinson broke the baseball color line when he started at first base for the Brooklyn Dodgers on April 15, 1947, and ended racial segregation in baseball. This movie dealt with civil rights and the themes of racism, bigotry, and the unfair treatment of so-called blacks in America. It should be noted that MLB reversed is BLM, an acronym for Black Lives Matter. This connects Chadwick to the racially charged protests of the BLM movement now occurring in America in response to the killing of so-called black men and women by police. Boseman also starred in the movie Marshall, where he played civil rights activist and lawyer Thurgood Marshall, who became the first African American Supreme Court justice. Since Marshall was a lawyer, this is a reference to the coming institution of martial law due to the riots and civil unrest sparked by the Black Lives Matter movement in response to the orchestrated ritual sacrifices occurring in this country. It should be noted that in portraying both Jackie Robinson and Thurgood Marshall, two individuals who became pioneers as the first blacks to reach a certain level in their respective professions, this subtly connects to Obama as well, since he became the first black president in 2008. Chadwick also played James Brown in the movie Get On Up. It should be noted that James Brown began his career as a gospel singer, along with a group called the Gospel Starlights. Within a year, the group wanted to perform R&B, but was afraid of being confronted by church leaders for singing the devil's music. After the tragic death of one of the members, the group left gospel music and changed their name, ultimately calling the band the famous Flames. James Brown was eventually known as the Godfather of Soul, and he had a ritual which he performed on stage. Usually during the song, Please, 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 Brown would become distressed and fall to his knees in exhaustion, prompting MC Danny Ray to come over and place a cape around the singer's shoulders. I believe this was meant to symbolize James Brown's deal with the devil, where he sold his soul for fame and fortune. James Brown falling to his knees connects to Colin Kaepernick kneeling, Stevie Wonder getting down on both knees at the Global Citizen Festival, and the 8 minutes 46 seconds David Chauvin kept his knee on the neck of George Floyd. But as believers, we know that every knee shall bow for the Most High God. Moreover, the fact that the group left the gospel in order to pursue the devil's music and change their names to the famous Flames points to the lake of fire. Responding to pressure from black activists like H. Rap Brown, chairman of the Student Nonviolent Coordinating Committee and Minister of Justice for the Black Panther Party, Brown wrote the lyrics to the song, "Say It Loud, I'm Black and I'm Proud." The connection to the Black Panther Party provides a segue for Chadwick's next big endeavor, the role of the Black Panther. This is a reference to the Black Panther Party, which was a revolutionary, socialist political organization founded by Marxist college students who used the symbol of a clenched fist raised in the air when protesting.
I might be in jail, I might be anywhere, but when I leave, you remember I said with the last words on my lips that I am a revolutionary.
This also connects to the theme of revolution and the spirit of 76, or rebellion, seen in Obama's speech at the D20, which was held at the American Revolution Museum. Remember I told you that the letter D is the fourth letter, so D20 represents 420. This connects to the number 42, since the zero at the end can be thought of as having no quantity or representing nothing. Therefore, 420 and 42 actually represent the same number. I am mentioning this now because we'll come back to it later. But first, I want to dig a little deeper into the number 42. In the Holy Scriptures, we are told the holy city shall be tread underfoot by the Gentiles for 42 months, and the two witnesses will also prophesy during this time. Revelation 11 verses 1 through 3 declares, "And there was given me a reed like unto a rod, and the angel stood, saying, Rise, and measure the temple of God, and the altar, and them that worship therein. But the court which is without the temple leave out, and measure it not, for it is given unto the Gentiles. In the holy city shall they tread underfoot 42 months. And I will give power unto my two witnesses, and they shall prophesy 1,260 days, clothed in sackcloth." A reference to the number 42 is also made in Revelation chapter 13 verses 3 through 5, which declares, "And I saw one of his heads as it were wounded to death, and his deadly wound was healed. And all the world wondered after the beast, and they worshipped the dragon, which gave power unto the beast, and they worshipped the beast, saying, Who is like unto the beast? Who is able to make war with him? And there was given unto him a mouth speaking great things and blasphemies, and power was given unto him to continue 42 months." Now you understand why Chadwick was connected with the number 42 and depicted as the one-eyed false messiah wearing a crown of thorns on his head. Even more importantly, you now understand why Obama was given the purple cap with the number 42 by Chadwick. The number 42 can be expressed as 4 twos or 2222. 22 plus 22 equals 44, a reference to Obama, who is number 44. You may recall that Jay-Z had a song called 22 Twos, and his 13th studio album was called 444. As we know, the number 13 represents rebellion and revolution. Jay-Z has also connected himself with the one-eye symbolism of the all-seeing eye and Satanist Aleister Crowley in the past. His song, No Church in the Wild, with Kanye West, showed graphic images of civil unrest and violence in the streets between protesters and police as a kind of foreshadowing of what is now happening in America. Jay-Z also happens to be a huge Obama supporter as well. None of this is coincidence. The number 42 reversed is 24, or 2 4s, which also gives us the number 44. Here you see Chadwick wearing a purple number 42 jersey, but the 42 is reversed to give us the number 24, or 2 4s. Chadwick died in August, which is the 8th month, and since he is wearing a reversed 42, which represents the number 24, this connects him to another superstar celebrity who passed away this year as well, Kobe Bryant, who wore the numbers 8 and 24. Interestingly enough, on January 26, 2020, the day Kobe died in a helicopter crash, Chadwick posted a picture on Instagram of him and Kobe together. In April of 2020, which also just so happens to be a reference to Obama's number 44, since April is the 4th month and 20 plus 20 equals 40, Chadwick posted a 44-second video online to launch Operation 42.
Jackie Robinson, they're still alive, still in second base, we're still in third base.
A scheme that donated $4.2 million worth of PPE to hospitals that looked after African American communities most affected by coronavirus. It is important to note that this charity was connected to the coronavirus, and as we know, the coronavirus signals the coronation or crowning of the Antichrist to sit on the throne of the New World Order as the God of this world. The purple cap worn by Chadwick in this video is the same type of purple baseball cap with the number 42 on it that he gave to Obama when he visited the White House. The color violet or purple governs the crown chakra, which is located at the top of the head, the same place where the purple cap is worn. This connects back to Prince's death and his song, Purple Rain.
Purple rain, purple rain.
Remember Obama's response when Prince died?
It so happens our ambassador has a turntable, and so this morning we played Purple Rain and Delirious just to get warmed up.
Notice the symbol on the podium, which is symbolic of Antichrist, since it boasts the Lion King and the unicorn or little horn and white horse, a reference to the rider of the white horse found in Revelation chapter 6 verse 2. The color violet or purple relates to self-knowledge and spiritual awareness. It represents union with your higher self, with spirituality in the higher consciousness. Therefore, this symbolizes the raising of one's consciousness or man becoming God, which connects back to Chadwick giving Obama a purple cap representing the crown chakra to be placed on his head with the number 42 on it for coronavirus relief. This symbolized the coronation or crowning of Obama, the raising or elevation of his consciousness from a man to a god, which connects to Obama's speech at Mile High Stadium in Denver, Colorado, which is known for its high elevation in 420 or getting high. It also connects to Obama's speech at the D20 as well. Further, This connects to Obama's appearance in iPad GOAT with the graduation cap, which was symbolic of his evolution from man to God. What I find most disturbing about this entire situation is the fact that Chadwick Boseman, star of the film 42, who played Jackie Robinson, died on Jackie Robinson Day, which, instead of being held on April 15th, the anniversary of Jackie Robinson's debut in the majors, was held this year on August 28th due to coronavirus. To make this incident even more macabre, Boseman's death was announced during Friday night's Dodgers television broadcast, while every player on the field in the Dodgers-Texas Rangers game was wearing number 42. Clearly, Chadwick's death has to be another orchestrated satanic ritual event. The date August 28th is 8 plus 2 plus 8, which equals 18, or 666. August 28th is also the 57th anniversary of the March on Washington and comes during a summer of protests and boycotts for racial justice. Ironically enough, Prince, the singer of Purple Rain, who Obama referenced, was 57 years old when he died. Attendees for the March on Washington 2020 included the families of George Floyd, Breonna Taylor, Eric Garner, and Jacob Blake. The overseer of this event was Al Sharpton, just as he was at George Floyd's funeral when he referred to Floyd as the cornerstone, connecting that event to a false Messiah.
He took the rejected stone, the stone that the builder rejected. God took the rejected stone and made him the cornerstone of a movement that's going to change the whole wide world.
Thousands of protesters were in Washington this weekend for a reprisal of Dr. Martin Luther King's original march, where he gave his iconic "I Have a Dream" speech on the steps of the Lincoln Memorial. The "I Have a Dream" speech is a reference to Morpheus, the god of sleep and unconsciousness. They are telling you that the masses are asleep and unconscious to how completely and thoroughly they are being manipulated by evil demonic forces in this world. The Lincoln Memorial also connects to the liberation, emancipation, or freeing of the slaves. This points to Revelation chapter 9, verses 1 through 11, when the angel is given the key to the bottomless pit to open the pit and release and set free the angels and the king of the bottomless pit. This connects back to Kanye West's performance at the prison and the release of his album Jesus is King, as well as its connection to Rogan Crater and Lucifer Rising. Interestingly enough, during this same week, a man named Ronnie Long was released from prison after serving 44 years for a crime he didn't commit. The reference to Martin Luther King, or MLK, is a reference to the name Moloch, which is based on the root MLK, meaning king. Remember, Moloch is the bull-headed Canaanite god associated with child sacrifice. This is a reference to the representation of the false Christ, the Rock, who was also known as the Brahma Bull, and for his call for global unity as a global citizen. It also connects to Kamala Harris, who is a Brahmin supposedly descended from the Hindu god Brahma. It should be noted that on August 11th, Boseman posted a photo of himself and Kamala Harris in support of her bid for the vice presidency under Joe Biden. Interestingly enough, Joe Biden proclaimed that we are in a battle for the soul of our nation. And here his vice president is, pictured with a man who portrayed the godfather of soul. Also notice the raised fists, which are a symbol of the Black Panther's revolution and defiance against God. In response to Chadwick's passing, Kamala wrote, "Heartbroken, my friend and fellow bison, Chadwick Boseman, was brilliant, kind, learned, and humble. He left too early, but his life made a difference. Sending my sincere condolences to his family." Both Chadwick and Kamala attended Howard University. The mascot for Howard is a bison, and the male bison is a bull. The term fellow bison then connects back to Moloch, the Brahma bull, and the Hindu god Brahma, since Kamala is a Brahmin and identified herself and Chadwick as bison or bulls. The reference to the bull ultimately connects back to the horned god, Satan. In closing, the occult symbolism connected with the death of Chadwick Boseman and other orchestrated satanic blood sacrifice events provides more indisputable evidence of what I've been presenting in these videos and what Ephesians chapter 6 verses 12 through 17 declares. For we wrestle not against flesh and blood, but against principalities, against powers, against the rulers of the darkness of this world, against spiritual wickedness in high places. Wherefore, take unto you the whole armor of God, that ye may be able to withstand in the evil day. And having done all to stand, stand therefore, having your loins girt about with truth, and having on the breastplate of righteousness, and your feet shod with the preparation of the gospel of peace. Above all, taking the shield of faith, wherewith ye shall be able to quench all the fiery darts of the wicked, and take the helmet of salvation and the sword of the Spirit, which is the word of God. If you have not given your life to the Most High by accepting the blood sacrifice of Yahushua HaMashiach that was shed on the cross for the redemption of sins, the time to do so is now. Wake up, people. The end is upon you. Amen. Shalom.